TYT was in Miami. We had live coverage. Thank you for watching. After our live debate coverage and post-show wrapped up, then Cenk went to CNN where he talked to Chris Cuomo and my old boss Jennifer Granholm, former mayor of Michigan, about kind of these half measures when it comes to trying to fix the tax code. And so first of all, the interaction began with a little TYT fan info.
Cenk, a fan of yours called into the radio show the other day. I'm like in love with Sirius Radio. It has been so good for my journalism. So Liza helps me out as a host. Jennifer Granholm came in with Governor Whitman of New Jersey and did an event for me. I got to get you on the show. This guy calls in, he's a fan of the Young Turks, and he's like, you know, the problem is the Democrats want to play small ball. And they want to win by like almost being just like the Republicans and just kind of scotch through in some style contest. We got to play big ball, big ideas, big moves. That's how we get the big votes to turn out from people who now roll their eyes at us. That's your argument.
100%. So first of all, by the way, Young Turks was the first original talk show on Sirius Satellite Radio. So I'm proud of that. That was all the way back in 2002. But
at first I just had to pause there to be like, name drop. Loved it. And then later he like vibes with Granholm about Current TV where I was on her show and then everyone, that's how we all met. Anyway, okay, so this is the point though specifically. It's about a 70% marginal tax rate on people who make over $1 million. And Cuomo challenges Cenk on that in relation to taking half measures and how everybody else feels about it. So take a look at that interaction, we'll discuss.
The 70% tax bracket would be for people only making above $1 million. And at this point, if you ask American people, 76% of them want to raise taxes on the rich. So we got to get that through our heads. 3/4 of the country says don't lower taxes, raise taxes, right?
But what about the idea, Cenk, of people who aren't in a tax bracket but aspire to it, and they don't like that you're putting a cap on their dream?
No, but Chris, we already polled it. 3/4 of the country says they've had too many tax cuts, raise their taxes. In fact, when you go to the millionaires, they agree. 60% of millionaires says, for God's sake, raise our taxes. So if the millionaires agree and the people who aren't millionaires agree, then what are we fighting them for?
70%.
But Jennifer, that's 70% for people making above $1 million, and it's only marginal. It's $1 above $1 million. So guys, don't help the Republicans make their talking points. The reality is 3/4 of the country is with us. Take yes for an answer.
I'm here to help motivate the talking points of each side and test them. That's what I do. So Liza, let's get you in on this.
My point is though, Chris, to just real quick to just get your overall point about big ideas. Look, if we fight for higher wages for the average American, we fight for healthcare for everyone. See, these are things that people can rally around. When Hillary Clinton said no change, when Joe Biden says no change, it is impossible to rally around that. We have got to actually fight for the average guy, and we can do it in a big way, and they actually agree with us. So let's say yes to them so that we can win the election and get great policies in.
So what do you guys think? I mean, first of all, it's awesome to see that back and forth. I mean, not only because it's two people who used to be on Current TV, but specifically it is a progressive voice talking and discussing how like a very passionate progressive base is essentially trying to bargain with moderates to be bold. What do you think about that?
I mean, this is very much a reflection of the successes of the 2018 campaign with what Democratic Socialists of America, Justice Democrats were able to do is they sold out, they successfully marketed candidates like AOC, and now their voice is being heard, their voice is being brought into the conversation. When you were playing him, I didn't know that he was doing a post-debate conversation on CNN. That to me seems wild, but it also seems that, like I said, there's a current shift. You know, we're talking about current. There's a current shift around the culture of what those cable news stations now know that they need to include because it is a part of the audience that they're trying to capture back.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that we've gotten to a point where we're not treating progressive messaging like witchcraft.
Right, exactly. I totally agree. Right? It's funny to see them do that.
Yeah.
And that was like on the damage report. We talked to Lauren.
No offense to any witches out there.
But it's they don't. Well, it's witchcraft, but it's also like in those movies where you go back in time with your cell phone and you hand it to someone and you show it to them and they're like, what is this crazy thing for and it's just like, well, everyone
health care. What is this?
Right.
It sounds like a kid.
You're the crazy one, right?
It sounds like a kid who tells their parent, like, I was just up at the treehouse and I saw a ghost. They're like, what?
That's how it's treated.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness,
This little kid,
everyone.
My child has a wild imagination. Tax the rich? Where did they come up with that?
Right.
What do you think about this thing? This is what I hear, because I talked to some people who are all over the map on this particular issue of a 70% marginal tax rate, which is only, you're taxed at the same rate below that. For every dollar you make above $1 million, you have a higher tax rate.
Right.
So it's not that now that you make $1 million, you're getting taxed at 70% on you're making 30% of that. Whatever that is, I don't do math. But people say it's that aspirational part of America where they're like, you're taking away that dream of being a millionaire.
Which is
I can't even wrap my mind around that argument.
You will never, the people who are arguing against this, the way things are, you will never even have to deal with this problem because only 3 or 4 people are controlling this. It's more, it's ridiculous.
And it's also the current system we have now is actually working harder against what you think is the American dream than what this system we're proposing would do.
But also, what are you willing to do for that kind of money, right? Who are you willing to step on, and what are you willing to not pay back? Do you know any billionaire that got their money without exploiting people or harming people?
No, because the billionaires that I know, the billionaires that I know. The billionaires that are getting made now are in the tech sector, and they are literally exploiting your personal information.
But let's go back. But let's go back to
besides Oprah, obviously.
Okay,
there's an interesting historical moment where these corporations were held accountable in the early 20th century of America. You remember the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, Carnegie, all these folks. They put in a president named William McKinley into office so that he could watch out for them, so that there could be no antitrust cases against them. And then William McKinley's like, oh, I need to get Theodore Roosevelt as my VP, so he can't hold those folks accountable. What happens, William McKinley gets killed, assassinated by an anarchist who's mad at McKinney for not trying those big bad corporations. And then who gets to become president?
Progressivism.
Exactly, and he held them accountable. And so the American people did want those things. And so this dream of being a Rockefeller, it's also a part of Hollywood folklore. People didn't like these folks.
And all of these checks on giant business, that progressivism, it's not your instinct to make money. It's not your ability to go seek the American dream. It's us putting in checks against people that are keeping you from achieving your dream, and that's all.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.